I'm taking on a survival challenge on this deserted island with no food and no fresh water. As if that wasn't difficult enough, a powerful storm is heading straight toward me. Will I be able to survive this challenge? Welcome back to Island Bushcraft. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm excited to have you join me for another day of survival. This survival challenge has been far tougher than I ever expected. In just 2 days, I've had to endure 2 powerful storms back to back. There were moments when I honestly felt like giving up. Everything I'd worked so hard to build was damaged, and starting over again was incredibly discouraging. But every time I think about quitting, I remember all of you who have been following and supporting this journey. That's what gives me the motivation to keep going and stay on this island a little longer. If you're enjoying this adventure, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like. It helps the channel more than you might think and motivates me to keep creating these survival videos. Now that the storm has finally passed, it's time to get back to work. My first job is to repair my fish lift net and make a few upgrades so it has a better chance of catching more fish. Food is my top priority right now, and every improvement could make a big difference. Another thing I've learned is that every storm leaves something behind. The waves often wash all kinds of useful materials onto the beach, so before I finish for the day, I'm going to search the shoreline and see what I can salvage. Hopefully, the storm didn't just take things away, maybe it also brought me exactly what I need. Take a look at these little barnacles. They cling tightly to the rocks along the shoreline. Even though they're tiny, they're packed with nutrients and can be eaten if you collect enough of them. But I think I have a better idea. Instead of eating them, I'm going to gather a handful and use them as bait for my fish trap. Their strong scent should help attract fish, and if everything goes well, I'll end up with a much bigger meal than these barnacles could provide on their own. I think that's the smarter choice. One quick tip if you ever find yourself exploring rocky shores like this. Whenever you see rocks covered with barnacles, be extra careful where you step. Their shells are incredibly sharp, and even a small slip can leave you with a deep cut. Out here, a simple injury is never really simple. A small wound can make it difficult to walk, collect food, or build shelter. If it gets infected, things can become much more serious. While I have a little free time, I'm going to make a simple fishing rod out here. I can't afford to depend on just one way of finding food. Even if my fish lift net works well, there's no guarantee it will catch something every day. The more options I have, the better my chances of eating. So whenever I'm not busy repairing my shelter or gathering materials, I'll spend that time making tools that can improve my odds of survival. Hopefully, having both a fishing rod and the fish trap working at the same time will bring me a much better catch. It's a puffer fish. Unfortunately, this isn't the kind of catch I was hoping for. Many species of puffer fish contain powerful toxins, and unless you can identify and prepare them correctly, they're simply not worth the risk. Look at this. The moment it feels threatened, it starts puffing itself up like a little balloon. It's an incredible defense mechanism that makes it much harder for predators to swallow. Now now it's finally my favorite part of the day, enjoying the reward after all the hard work. Today turned out better than I expected. I managed to catch quite a few fish and a couple of crabs, which means I won't be going to bed hungry tonight. Maybe the storm has something to do with it. After being trapped by rough seas for so long, these sea creatures are probably just as hungry as I am, moving around in search of food as soon as the water calms down. And that's exactly how our paths crossed. As much as I admire these animals, survival comes first. Out here, every meal is precious, and I don't really have the luxury of choosing. That's simply the way nature works. Today, I survive because they become my food. After taking a short break, I'm heading up into the hills to see if I can find anything useful. Living on a deserted island means every day is an opportunity to discover something new. It could be wild fruit, edible plants, useful wood, or even materials that make life out here a little easier. I don't want to waste any daylight. The more I explore, the better I understand this island, and the better my chances of surviving for the long term. Just noticed how incredibly clear the water is today. I can see much farther than usual, so I'm going to take the opportunity to dive down and have a look around. Who knows what might be hiding beneath the surface? Sometimes the ocean keeps its best surprises underwater. While I was diving underwater, I came across something I never expected to find. The moment I saw it, an idea popped into my head. And if it works, it could make a huge difference. Can you guess what I'm about to do? But before I can start, I need to head back up the hill and grab one important thing. Once I have it, I'll come straight back and put my plan to the test. Going to make a long fishing line with dozens of small hooks attached to tree branches. Down there, I noticed these branches lying underwater have started to look just like natural reefs. They create the perfect hiding place for schools of fish, so there's a good chance they'll swim in and stay around them. That's exactly what I'm hoping to take advantage of. I'll bait every hook, lower the branches back into the water, and let nature do the rest. Instead of relying on a single hook, I'll have dozens fishing at the same time, which gives me a much better chance of catching something. If everything goes according to plan, I probably won't have to worry about food today. See that? I can't believe it. This worked even better than I expected. This is only my very first attempt, and I've already gotten an amazing result. That tells me this spot really is full of fish, and using those branches as underwater cover was the right decision. That's it for today's survival adventure on this deserted island. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and following this journey. Your support and encouragement mean more to me than you can imagine, and they give me the motivation to keep pushing forward, no matter how difficult the challenge becomes. If you're enjoying this series, please subscribe to Island Bushcraft. It would really help the channel grow and bring me one step closer to my first 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you in the next episode where even more exciting surprises are waiting.